I think East Bay Mud is the epitome and the example of how public ownership of an important resource like water serves the public interest, right? Yes, East Bay Mud maintains amazing watershed properties up in the Sierra and the East Bay, and so the environmental stewardship reflects public values, not some corporate interest. Its work in promoting small and minority-owned businesses through its history to make sure that equity was achieved and all aspects of the community could share and do work with East Bay Mud. The amazing commitment to health, to water quality. I think we are so fortunate here in the East Bay to have the highest quality of water anywhere in the state. The amazing work of all the public employees who I had a chance to see and work with during the 10 years that I was on the board, and how committed they are to the public. I still remember the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake, and at that time East Bay Mud was meeting here. This was the corporate headquarters. Our board meetings were here on Adeline, and how East Bay Mud workers went out to assist people when the Cypress Freeway collapsed, to go, because they were very close, to go and help people who were injured during that accident, during that tragic day. I recall East Bay Mud employees heroically working to get water supplies during the Oakland Hills fire in 1992. And that day when the reservoirs in the East Bay Hills couldn't get pumped, the water could not be brought back to them because the power was out after the water was used up to fight fires. But the valiant work of East Bay Mud employees to really try to get water to that area. And then of course the board afterwards decided we don't want that to happen again, and we're going to invest money to ensure that there's water in those tanks after a fire like that. So examples of how this amazing organization and the talented people respond to really tough times. Also serve during time of drought, during time of flood, making this high quality water affordable and accessible to the public. And now, of course, facing the challenges of climate change. And making sure that our bay is cleaner. In fact, just yesterday I was on a bike ride along the Bay Trail in Richmond, and I stopped and took a break outside East Bay Mud's wet weather plant right there at Point Isabel. You know that facility well. And I remember when that facility was built, because it was about East Bay Mud's commitment to making sure that the quality, the bay water quality, was not impacted by wastewater activities, wastewater treatment plants. So I remember that commitment of hundreds of millions of dollars to keep the bay cleaner. And I also reflect on the fact that this is a publicly elected board, right, which makes the 7 directors accountable to the public and hear their concerns. And so I think we could look back on 100 years and say that this public agency has indeed fulfilled the values that our very progressive population here in the East Bay believes in. And finally, the vision that it took, and we heard about George Pardee, the former governor, former mayor of Oakland, who really exercised leadership in looking at forming this district, combining water districts. And the East Bay is where it is today from an economic standpoint because of that foresight. If that water supply didn't exist at the time, the growth of jobs and economy in the East Bay would not have happened. So I'm proud to have been part of the East Bay Mud history for 10 of those years, and to get to see firsthand the commitment of so many great people in this organization.